Our government is encouraging all Americans to make a difference through our faith-based and community initiative. We're mobilizing Americans to volunteer through the USA Freedom Corps. We'll do our part, but, ultimately, service is up to you. It is your choice to make. As your generation takes its place in the world. All of you must make this decision: will you be a spectator or a citizen? To make a difference in this world, you must be involved. By serving a higher calling here or abroad. You'll make your lives richer and build a more hopeful future for our world. At Calvin College, you take this call to service to heart. You serve as agents of renewal across the earth. You volunteer for Big Brothers/Big Sisters to mentor young people. You work at Bethany Christian Services here in Grand Rapids, one of the best-known adoption services in America. A former Calvin student and professor, Vern Ehlers, serves in the halls of Congress. As the class of 2005 goes out into the world, I ask you to embrace this tradition of service and help set an example for all Americans. As Americans, we share an agenda that calls us to action, a great responsibility to serve and love others. A responsibility that goes back to the greatest commandment. This isn't a Democrat idea. This isn't a Republican idea. This is an American idea. It has sustained our nation's liberty for more than 200 years. The founders knew that too much government leads to oppression. but that too little government can leave us helpless and alone. So they built a free society with many roots in community. And to keep the tree of liberty standing tall in the century before us, you must nourish those roots. Today, the Calvin class of 2005 looks out on an America that continues to be defined by the promise of our Declaration of Independence. We're still the nation our founders imagined, where individual freedom and opportunity is unbounded. Where community is vibrant, where compassion keeps us from resting. Until all our citizens take their place at the banquet of freedom and equality. And with your help, we'll all do our part to transform our great land one person and one community at a time. Thank you for having me, and may God bless you, and may God continue to bless our country. George W. Bush. Address to Citadel Cadets. Delivered December 11, 2001, Charleston, South Carolina. I'm glad to be back here at the Citadel. I have come to talk about the future security of our country. In a place where I took up this subject 2 years ago when I was candidate for president. In September 1999, I said here at the Citadel that America was entering a period of consequences that would be defined by the threat of terror, and that we faced a challenge of military transformation. That threat has now revealed itself, and that challenge is now the military and moral necessity of our time. So, today, I will set forth the commitments essential to victory in our war against terror. I want to thank Major General John Grinalds for his hospitality. I want to thank the Citadel Board of Visitors, the staff, and the faculty. I understand the governor is here. And I know my friends, the lieutenant governor. The Speaker and the Attorney General are here, and it was great to have seen them at the airport. I thank my friend, Adjutant General Stan Spears, for being here. I'm grateful that Senator Hollings and members of the South Carolina congressional delegation flew down on Air Force One. I only wish that the senior senator was on the airplane so I could have wished him a happy 99th birthday. But most of all, I want to say how much I appreciate being in the presence of some of America's finest. The South Carolina Corporate of Cadets of Citadel. Four days ago, I joined the men and women of the USS Enterprise to mark the 60th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. December 7, 1941 was a decisive day that changed our nation forever. In a single moment, America's splendid isolation was ended. And the 4 years that followed transformed the American way of war. The age of battleships gave way to the offensive capability of aircraft carriers. The tank, once used only to protect infantry, now served to cut through enemy lines. At Guadalcanal and Normandy and Iwo Jima, amphibious warfare proved its worth. And by war's end, no one would ever again doubt the value of strategic air power. Even more importantly, an American president and his successors shaped a world beyond a war. They rebuilt Europe with the Marshall Plan, formed a great alliance for freedom in NATO. And expressed the hope of collective security in the United Nations. America took the lead, becoming freedom's defender and assuming responsibilities that only we could bear. September 11, 2001, 3 months and a long time ago said. Another dividing line in our lives and in the life of our nation. An illusion of immunity was shattered. A faraway evil became a present danger. And a great cause became clear: we will fight terror and those who sponsor it. To save our children from a future of fear. To win this war, we have to think differently. The enemy who appeared on September 11 seeks to evade our strength and constantly searches for our weaknesses. So America is required once again to change the way our military thinks and fights. And starting on October 7, the enemy in Afghanistan got the first. Glimpses of a new American military that cannot, and will not, be evaded. When I committed U.S. forces to this battle, I had every confidence that they would be up to the task. And they have. Proven me right. The Taliban and the terrorists set out to dominate a country and intimidate the world. Today, from their caves, it's all looking a little different. And no cave is deep enough to escape the patient justice of the United States of America. We are also beginning to see the possibilities of a world beyond the war on terror. We have a chance, if we take it, to write a hopeful chapter in human history. All at once, a new threat to civilization is erasing old lines of rivalry and resentment between nations. Russia and America are building a new cooperative relationship. India and the United States are increasingly aligned across a range of issues. Even as we work closely with Pakistan. Germany and Japan are assuming new military roles, appropriate to their status as great democracies. The vast majority of countries are now on the same side of a moral and ideological divide. We're making common cause with every nation that chooses lawful changeover. Chaotic violence every nation that values peace and safety and innocent life. Staring across this divide are bands of murderers, supported by outlaw regimes. They are a movement defined by their hatreds. They hate progress, and freedom, and choice, and culture, and music, and laughter. And women, and Christians, and Jews, and all Muslims who reject their distorted doctrines. They love only one thing: they love power. And when they have it, they use it without mercy. The great threat to civilization is not that the terrorists will inspire millions. Only the terrorists themselves would want to live in their brutal and joyless world. The great threat to civilization is that a few evil men will multiply their murders. And gain the means to kill on a scale equal to their hatred. We know they have this mad intent, and we're determined to stop them. Our lives, our way of life, and our every hope for the world depend on a single commitment. The authors of mass murder must be defeated, and never allowed to gain or use the weapons of mass destruction. America and our friends will meet this threat with every method at our disposal. We will discover and destroy sleeper cells. We will track terrorist movements, trace their communications. Disrupt their funding, and take their network apart, piece by piece. Above all, we're acting to end the state sponsorship of terror. Rogue states are clearly the most likely sources of chemical and biological and nuclear weapons for terrorists. Every nation now knows that we cannot accept and we will not accept states that harbor. Finance, train, or equip the agents of terror. Those nations that violate this principle will be regarded as hostile regimes. They have been warned, they are being watched, and they will be held to account. Preventing mass terror will be the responsibilities of presidents far into the future. And this obligation sets 3 urgent and enduring priorities for America. The first priority is to speed the transformation of our military. When the Cold War ended, some predicted that the era of direct threats to our nation was over. Some thought our military would be used overseas not to win wars. But mainly to police and pacify, to control crowds and contain ethnic conflict. They were wrong.